students! Today we're going to be looking at what I'm eating and what I'm learning. Just like you, I'm here in the school of life. We are all learning every single day. Check out my food. This is my breakfast. I encourage you to play with your food and try to make it pretty. Have fun with it, but also have as much variety as you can throughout the day. Try to go for 30 different vegan foods. Let's count how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. That's just for breakfast. Now, remember lunch? Same thing. You're going for more greens. You're going for a lot of veggies. Doesn't really matter what time of the day that you eat different things at, as long as you have a lot of variety, a lot of different color, and a lot of green stuff, and just get as much of the rainbow as you can inside of you throughout a day. Better to have a variety of many different foods than to just have a huge amount of one. I've got some protein here, some protein here, some protein here, and of course, you know, everything in balance. Don't forget, cow's milk is for baby cows, so the drink of choice should always be water. That's the best drink. Fruit juices are not as good because the fiber is taken out. Now look at this. This book is really cool, and what I love is this quote. This is really important. One must accept the truth from whatever source it comes from. Think about that. If you don't like somebody, but they're telling you something important and it's the truth, you should listen to that. Don't just automatically discard somebody because of who they are. They still might have something to teach you. Irrelevant premises. Genetic fallacy. There are many fallacies. Everybody should know about all of these fallacies, and there are a lot of them. But a little bit at a time to help you to be a critical thinker, to understand how you can find out who is telling the truth, what is the truth, and to not be fooled. Many people I noticed when I was on TikTok more is that they don't understand the difference between a lie and the truth. And it's not always easy today with the media to figure that out. But look at this for a sec. Genetic fallacy. A genetic fallacy is arguing that a claim is true or false solely based on its origin. For example, Selena's argument regarding Aboriginal rights can't be right because she's of European descent. Okay, that's an example of a fallacy. It doesn't make sense. People say these type of things all the time. Well, how should this person know? But where you're from has nothing to do with it. We should reject that proposal for solving the current welfare mess. It comes straight from the New Democratic Party. It's another example of a fallacy. Just because a certain political party says something doesn't mean that you should automatically reject it, even if it's a party that you don't necessarily agree with. Here's another fallacy. Russell's idea about tax hikes came to him in a dream, so it must be junk. Not necessarily, right? Just because something comes to you in a dream doesn't mean it's automatically dumb or just something that you should discard. There could be some relevance to it. Remember, one must accept the truth from whatever source it comes from, whatever source. Think about that. If you don't like that vegan teacher, that doesn't mean that everything the vegan teacher is saying is wrong. Or your neighbor, or your parents, or your kid, or anybody, your boss, whatever, your colleague. Keep an open mind all the time. These arguments fail because they reject a claim based solely on where it comes from, not on its merits. In most cases, the source of an idea is irrelevant to its truth. Good ideas can come from questionable sources. Bad ideas can come from impeccable sources. Generally, judging a claim only by its source is a recipe for error. Once again, who said this quote? Moses Maimonides. One must accept the truth from whatever source it comes from. That means that I can learn from a small child who says the truth all the way to an older person. When my daughter was really young, she was about 4 years old, and she went to a friend's house a little friend's house at preschool, and my daughter, said to that child's mother, "You shouldn't smoke. That's bad for you." And you know what happened? The woman was so shocked that a 4-year-old was telling her that she quit. And this mother told me, she said, "You know, I quit smoking because of your daughter, because your daughter said smoking's bad for you. You shouldn't do it." So whatever source the information comes from, if it's good, one must accept the truth from whatever source it comes from. We can all learn from each other. I can learn from somebody who's 99, and I can learn from somebody who's a child. There are times, however, when the origins of claims can be a relevant factor. In court cases, when an eyewitness account comes from someone known to be a pathological liar, the jury is entitled to doubt the account. Of course, if you have a history of lying all the time, then that is something to take into account. Another fallacy is called composition. The fallacy of composition is arguing that what is true of the parts must be true of the whole. The error here is thinking that the characteristics of the parts are somehow transferred to the whole, something that's not always the case. Likewise, the error is committed whenever we assume that what's true of the member of a group is true of the group as a whole. For example, the atoms that make up the human body are invisible. Therefore, the human body is invisible. Right? We all know that the human body is not invisible. So we have to be careful. Each member of the club is productive and effective. So the club will be productive and effective. Not necessarily, because you could have a whole bunch of people who are effective, but when they work as a group, as a whole, they might be completely unproductive. Each note in the song sounds great. Therefore, the whole song will sound great. Right? We all know that every musical note played on a piano individually could sound beautiful, but put them all together and it could be just a giant, terrible mess. It's how things are put together. So the fallacy of composition is arguing that what is true of the parts must be true of the whole. So remember that one. So today we've learned 2 different fallacies. Composition, and think of it as composing music. That's how I remember that one, and how music can be composed well or not. And also the genetic fallacy, meaning who is saying the statement does not necessarily mean it is bad or good. And the final thing, remember the quote by Maimonides, "One must accept the truth from whatever source it comes from." All right? So I hope you enjoyed this little lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Press the like button and press the bell. We're going to be talking about all different kinds of things. Healthy vegan foods. I want to encourage you every day to eat a variety of delicious foods, especially whole foods. Look at these foods. Nothing added, nothing taken away. Not one single thing is processed. There's no cereal here. There is nothing that has added sugar or added salt. Try to do this as much as you can. Retrain your palate to like the simple things in life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Do, 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 do.